I'm totally blind. I have been since 1974, and when I say totally blind, that means I can't even tell if it's dark or light. There are issues around ways of communicating, so it's not about the actual medical or nursing care, it's about the way that I've been communicated with. Let's start off with printed communication. The standard method of providing us with appointments is by a printed letter. Most of us who've got a vision impairment have difficulty with reading print. For me, it's a non-starter. I cannot read print without the assistance of technology. Now, I am well kitted out with computerized technology, and I do have scanners which will scan print. But the NHS seems to specialise in printed material that defies being scanned and read aloud. So quite often I have to ask my sighted friends to read a letter. That means my confidentiality and privacy is compromised. Just over 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with malignant skin cancer. The treatment I got was very good, but the information I got was all in print. Over 250 pages of printed matter, and I'm not prepared to try and scan 250 pages of printed matter. There must be a digital copy somewhere. Is it online? The answer was no. Can I get a digital copy so I can read it on my own talking computer? The answer was no. And I was told to ask a friend to read it on my behalf. As far as I'm aware, there doesn't seem to be anything linked to my NHS number or name or date of birth, which automatically tells everybody that I'm blind. So I have to keep going back, even to the same departments, to ask for the information in a format which I can read.
I always say to people, I'm registered blind, but I don't look it. Because I wear glasses, people assume that your eyesight is fully corrected if you wear glasses, but actually visual impairment is a huge spectrum. And the biggest barrier is probably the communication with the letters. They're always in standard size print and I need them in 14. There's no across the board way of getting letters in the format you need them across all departments and all hospitals. It's hit and miss, it's potluck whether they come in large print or not. So maybe it's a lack of staff training. Why can't we have a module on sensory impairment? So you could just do what is sensory impairment? I mean, that has to be the first question, doesn't it? Then you could describe different types of sensory impairment, mention it's a spectrum, and people think you're either totally blind or fully sighted. They don't understand that so many different eye conditions.
It's interesting because there's a thing where you don't look deaf, and I was kind of grew up not fitting with the deaf world, not fitting with the hearing world. I don't need a BSL interpreter. I need more sort of deaf awareness. So when you're writing, a lot of doctors have their computer screen and you're sat there. So I'm literally trying to turn around to lip read them, because not only is the lip pattern going that way instead of towards me, the sound's going that way as well. And that's even happened at audiology. It's very easy to forget those little things, but it's very hard for that person to overcome those little things. I went to the audiology department last week, but what I noticed was the ENT staff were standing in the corridor, sort of not in the room, and they're calling people's names. But if you just took 3 steps in, that sound would be in the room rather than in the corridor. What I found interesting was there's a poster and it says, please tell us if you think you won't hear us call your name. And I was like, why? Why have I got to? Why couldn't you just be deaf aware? To be deaf aware just makes that person listen to. For example, let's say 6 months ago, my hearing aid broke. So I managed to ring the audiology department. The technician kind of explained to me that I should be attending appointments once every 6 months for servicing. I didn't know that, and this is someone that's been in the system since, 40 odd years. And I should have a hearing test, I think, every 2 to 3 years. So that was kind of, oh, okay. So what would have been really helpful is a leaflet that kind of has that information, not just, for me that's kind of growing through the system, but to those people that have become deaf due to accidents or whatever. So I couldn't see a leaflet that's like, welcome, this is your hearing aid info sheet. In that leaflet as well would be, where can you get batteries from? When do you need to ring the audiologist to fix your hearing aid? Email addresses to contact so you don't have to phone. You can text service or whatever. You can put a QR code in your letter. Use this QR code to access the leaflet. Point of reference as well. So yes, I've sat in that waiting room. What does it say about where I can get batteries? I've forgotten. I've got this at home on the fridge. It's there.